understand I could have, addressed you guys sooner, but it was important to me to have a conversation with the players, which I did yesterday, very candidly, as we began our off-season program. I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. We believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me, that starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. Those are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team. We'll keep those private. And my family, this organization, the team, the staff, the coaches, everybody, our fans, most importantly, we'll get the best version of me going forward.
You were so close. Mike Vrabel was so close to finally admitting the truth. If you read between the lines here, Mike Vrabel essentially admitted to his alleged affair with Dianna Russini. But this vague admission, it's not enough. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it seems to be impossible to just tell the truth. I know it's hard. I know this situation is embarrassing, but these are the consequences to the actions that you chose to make. This scandal would have been forgotten by now if Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini had simply told the truth. Instead, they decided to act like two love-struck teenagers. Don't you worry, Mike. I know how we can handle this. We'll tell everyone that I was on a girls' retreat. We were celebrating girl power. You were doing a ride-along that day with UPS, and you delivered the bras that we were burning. You want to know the best way you can tell when someone is lying? A couple of months ago, my daughter was going to prom. Originally, she was supposed to go to prom with a group of girls. Now, unlike Dianna Russini, the girls my daughter was talking about actually exist. Afternoon of prom, I'm working in my studio and I get a text telling me to come inside immediately. I walk into my wife's office and I can instantly tell that she is angry. Kid is standing there and my wife gives her the "tell him what you just told me." Naturally, I sit on the floor with Oreo, the only female in the room, with a smile on her face in that moment. My daughter, she proceeds to tell me that she is changing her plans last minute and she wants to go to the prom with a boy that had asked her. My only question was, why are we just hearing about this now? Why are you asking about this 2 hours before you're supposed to leave the house to go to the prom? She goes into this elaborate story about how the kid had asked her to prom at a soccer game a few days earlier. And she had forgotten to tell us about it because another kid was seriously injured during the soccer game. And I guess the trauma from witnessing that injury made her forget all about being asked to prom. Long story short, I said, stick to your original plan of going with your girlfriends. You can meet your date at the prom. But going forward, just be direct. This story about an injury to some kid that goes to another school, all the unnecessary details, you're not fooling anyone. And the reason you're not fooling anyone is because I did the exact same thing when I was your age. I get it. You were afraid to ask because it was last minute. You thought you would be in trouble. You thought this would be catastrophic news to me and your mother. It's not. The more unnecessary details that you add, or as we call it when the media does it, the more you polish the turd, it makes it look like you have something to hide. Just come out with the truth and be direct with what you want. Now, I expect this from my 17-year-old daughter. She's young. She's learning. I don't expect her to know how to handle tough situations. It's our job to teach her. But my expectations are completely different with a 50-year-old man and a 43-year-old woman, especially when the woman is working in an industry that is supposed to be based in honesty. As soon as the New York Post leaked the pictures of Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini passionately dancing to My Endless Love, there was only one way to handle this situation: own it. Instead, they collaborated together to polish the turd. They invent some fictional story that no one believed, which only poured high-octane fuel on this already flaming ass fire. Here we are 3 weeks later. Mike Vrabel is only willing to give vague admissions to what happened. Dianna Russini, she is blaming mythical misogyny, and it's one of the main reasons that her media career is over. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be talking about another career that's over, or at minimum, this career is on life support. According to Draymond Green and the San Francisco Chronicle, Steve Kerr will not be the coach of the Rainbow Warriors next season. Now, most believe that Steve Kerr is quitting because the Warriors have no chance of being contenders anytime soon. But there's another possible reason that Steve Kerr could be walking away from the NBA. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. I would imagine that Dianna Russini is pissed off with the aftermath of this scandal. If I had to guess, she views herself as the ultimate victim. According to several insiders who spoke with ESPN, Princess Diana is outraged. She is being targeted as a female in a male-dominated industry. This is the antithesis of what we fought for in the Me Too movement. I was busted in an alleged affair. Me too. My career was destroyed, but the evil man was allowed to keep his job. Ooh, girl, me too. Dianna Russini's pretend friends in the mainstream media, they have polished the turd and tried to turn Dianna Russini into the ultimate victim. Elle Duncan, Michelle the Beadle. Can you imagine if this was your best line of defense? A man-hating woman who is modeling glasses that were clearly designed by Tim Walz. Jemele Hill, better known as Smelly Gemelli. My inside sources, they were able to capture this picture of Smelly as she found out about the Dianna Russini scandal. Now, as you can see here, Mike Vrabel clearly not dancing with Jemele Hill. This trio of feminist failures, they were quick to blame misogyny for the downfall of Dianna Russini. According to Jemele Hill, if male insiders were held to the same standards, none of them would exist. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mike Vrabel has no interest in getting inside of a male NFL insider. Obviously, there is a logical explanation as to why Mike Vrabel is still employed and Dianna Russini is standing next to Jemele Hill in the unemployment line. Mike Vrabel is significantly more valuable. It's that simple. From a professional perspective, Mike Vrabel had nothing to lose by fornicating with Dianna Russini, while Dianna Russini, she had everything to lose. You can blame misogyny, you can claim that it's unfair, but it doesn't change the fact that it's reality. Mike Vrabel took the Titans to the AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill. This dude could barely win a game when he was playing in Miami. With Mike Vrabel, Ryan Tannehill was the comeback player of the year, made his only Pro Bowl, and he was one win away from making the Super Bowl. His first year in New England, Mike Vrabel took a second-year quarterback to the Super Bowl. The Patriots won more games last year than they had won in the previous 3 seasons combined. Robert Kraft is not firing Mike Vrabel because he is doing the naked version of the I formation with Dianna Russini. Mike Vrabel could be banging the Pepperidge Farm guy, and he would still keep his job in New England. As long as he's winning, none of this matters. But with Dianna Russini, it's different. It would be one thing if Dianna Russini were a New England Patriots cheerleader, or she was selling beer and fresh wiener at the concession stand. The problem for Dianna Russini, the foundation of her career is based on her ability to be objective and her ability to tell the truth. Kinda hard to be objective when you're allegedly fornicating with the coach of the year. And it is impossible to establish credibility with your audience when you're constantly lying to them about this alleged affair. You know, earlier this morning, I was watching an interview with Andrew Tate. I know a lot of people don't like Andrew Tate, and I don't agree with everything he says, but when it comes to gender roles, when he's talking about the disease of feminism, Andrew Tate is brilliant. He was talking about how feminism actually benefited men and destroyed women. In the 1950s and 60s, men were ostracized if they cheated on their wife. Back then, men and women were encouraged to get married young. The man provided. He took care of the family financially. He made sure that the family was safe. The woman, she took care of the household, took care of the children. It was kind of like a social contract. You play your role, I play my role, and if we both play our roles like we are supposed to, it works. Hell, it worked for centuries. But then, doofus Democrats introduced the disease of feminism. Instead of following the lead of their husband, women wanted to be a girl boss. They started chasing money. They wanted to be a material girl. Any man who wants all this must be 6 feet 6 inches and 6 figures. My guess is Dianna Russini was the breadwinner in her family. Now, her husband, he's got a good job, but I doubt he's making $2 million a year. Every day, he is surrounded by people making milkshakes for minimum wage, while Dianna Russini, she is surrounded by powerful men making millions of dollars. In other words, those men are on her quote-unquote level. All those jokes that she made about her husband being average, all those jokes she made about her husband on national television, that was the truth. In most cases, anytime a woman is degrading or disrespecting her husband publicly, she has no respect for him privately. A happy wife doesn't default to disrespecting her husband. A happy wife goes out of her way to defend him. Truth is, Dianna Russini is a victim. She's another in a long line of the victims of feminism. And this is the end result. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.